morning, Algebra 2. It is Monday, and I know all of you are already out of bed, just waiting for this video to show up, just like Luke. Thank you, Luke, for helping. Okay, so today what we're going to do is I'm going to split this into two videos. This will be the first video, and then in a little while I'll upload the other videos. So they'll both come out today, but I needed to split it into two parts. All right, so it's going to be about completing the square, which you should have done in Algebra 1, but they're going to get a little bit more difficult as they go through. So we'll start with easy, and then we'll work our way through. So if you remember that completing the square, what you do is you take half of this number, so that would be 10 divided by 2, and then you square that to put in here. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 squared is 25. So now, by completing the square, what they mean for you to do is to make this x plus 5 squared equals 8. And I'll continue on with that later, but remember that that's how you complete the square, is by putting the 25 in there. Okay, now this one right here, they start out with one where you're actually not completing the square. What you're actually going to do when they have a square by itself is take the square root of both sides. This is like number 1 in the book, so I wanted you to see one. So when you take the square root of this, you get x plus 3 equals the square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. Don't forget that. Subtract 3 from both sides. And x equals, do the plus 5, take away the 3, which is 2. And then do the negative 5, subtract 3, which will give you negative 8. So you're always going to get two answers. This is a parabola, and on the parabola, all that's doing is telling you that it crosses at 2 and negative 8, maybe something like that. If you have a graphing calculator, you can graph these sometimes and just check and see how they go. Okay, this example here is more like completing the square altogether. So if you notice, they made this really nice for you. They've already done this part. So this is x plus 4 squared equals 49. Take the square root of both sides, and you get x plus 4 equals plus or minus 7. Subtract 4 from both sides, and we get x equals 7 minus 4 is 3. Negative 7 minus 4 is negative 11. So these are pretty simple here, the first ones. Okay, now number 3, what they want you to do is just take this expression. If you notice, there's no equal sign in it. They just want to know if you know what should go in here. So what we're going to do is take 6 divided by 2 and square it. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. After you do that, so I've got that. You can see how to do that. I'm going to erase this. Now they actually want you to go ahead and write down what it means. So it means this, which means x plus 3 times x plus 3. And this would be x times x would give you x squared. You get a 3x and a 3x plus 6x. And 3 times 3 is plus 9. That's what they want for the answer. Number, I think it's 4 through 9 or something like that. But in your book, that's what they mean when they say write a quadratic expression for it. And by the way, you guys on factoring on your quizzes did awesome on it. Almost everybody got them all right. So excellent job on your quizzes. Now this one's a little bit tougher. This one's a little bit weird. So this one we have to take negative 7 divided by 2 and square it. So that's going to give us 49 over 4. That's what they want you to use. They don't want you to use your calculator in the decimal. They just want you to put 49 over 4 in there. So now when we go to break this up, what you do is remember that this number right here is always what the 6 was divided by 2 was 3. So negative 7 divided by 2 is what goes here. So it would be x plus negative 7 halves squared. So that would be x plus 7 halves. Oh, I'm just going to make that into a minus. That makes it easier. So let's just make this into a minus. Times x minus 7 halves. So I'm going to multiply that together and we get x squared. Negative 7 halves x. And another negative 7 halves x gives me negative 14 halves x plus 49 over 4. This is just 7. So x squared minus 7x plus 49 over 4. That's how they want you to write the answer from this. Okay? Number 5. Okay, so on this one we have to complete the square, so now we're to the next section. So to complete the square, the first thing you want to do is put this in the right order. So I'm going to bring this one over here, that'll make it minus 9x, and then I'm going to put plus a blank equals a negative 2. We're going to bring that over here and make that a 2. So now I need to fill this in. Half of 9 is 9 halves, squared is 81 over 4. So I'm going to add 81 over 4 here, and I'm going to add 81 over 4 on this side. Okay, now this right here becomes x minus 9 over 2. Just leave it like that. Squared equals 81 over 4. What they want you to do is change the 2 to 4 over 4 and add that to 81 over 4. Actually, that wouldn't be 4 over 4. That would be 8 over 4, excuse me. 8 over 4 is the same thing as 2. So 8 over 4 plus 81 over 4 gives you 89 over 4. Hang with me on this. Then we got to take the square root of both sides. So then we get that x minus 9 halves is equal to plus or minus the square root of 89. I know what the square root of 4 is. It's 2, so I just write 2 right here. Sorry, that's a little sloppy. Now I'm going to add 9 over 2 to both sides. And so we end up with x equals plus or minus the square root of 89. This is a common denominator, and so you can just put plus 9, and it's all over 2. That's probably the most difficult ones you're going to find. I got to do one more quick. This one's an easy one. This one, if you notice, it's got a 3 in front of the x squared. You don't want that because it makes it really hard to do. And so what you're going to do is divide both sides by 3 and get x squared minus 8x plus blank equals 9. Now this one's going to be a lot faster. Half of negative 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 squared is 16. So I'm going to add 16 here. Don't forget to add it over here at the same time. So then we get x minus 4 squared equals 25. Take the square root of both sides. We get x minus 4 equals plus or minus 5. Add 4 to both sides. And we get x equals 5 plus 4 is 9. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. Okay, that's the first half of the video. So we're going to stop it here, and then I'm going to rewrite again, and we'll do the other part. You get all week to do this. There's no new assignment on Wednesday. So this is kind of Mondays and Wednesdays all wrapped up together.